Room 217, eh? Whatever. What's going on with the elevator this time? I seriously don't get paid enough for this!
Welcome to Twilight Zone. This is the Twilight Tower Hotel, a hotel established by Edmund Tock in 1934. It's a stormy night. The warmth of the hotel welcomes you. However, something feels really off. Is that something watching you? You shrug it off as nothing, but more strange occurrences happen until you finally see it. A strange glow. Is that a ghost? You brush it off as nothing until the elevator traps you in this cycle while you look for a way out. Twilight Zone was brought to my attention by 2 of my viewers. Thank you so much. If it weren't for you too, I probably wouldn't have realized this game was in the works and came out. Since its initial release, there's been several changes to the game itself, so let me go over everything you can expect from Twilight Zone as a D&D's World inspired game. The good and the bad. Grab a drink, maybe a snack, and let's jump in. When you first load in, you're given the option of starting with Ringo or Perfy. Just like D&D's World, these two are your Boxton and Poppy counterparts. I personally chose Ringo because I like doing machines and also I really like the depressed look he has going for him. Ringo is the hotel's bellman. He's depressed, he's just doing his job, and his ability is a passive one called Fast Fix. If any player completes a machine, he gets a 10% boost to the machine he's currently working on. The only way he gets this boost is he has to already be on a machine, and someone else has to complete a machine before him. Your other starter is Perfy, who is a patron of the hotel. She is a glamorous Hollywood star, and it's obvious that she's quite the diva. She essentially works just like Poppy. Her passive Perk Puff grants her a 50% movement speed boost after being hit by a spirit, which is this game's version of a Twisted. You might be wondering, okay Lelia, I get it. These are our starters. What other characters can I look forward to? Don't worry, we have this game's version of Roger, which is Yang. Yang's passive is Super Thinker, which doubles research from being spotted by spirits and from picking up research books. Unlike Roger though, Yang has 5 stars in speed, making them much faster than Roger, which is needed to counter their 2 stars in stealth, so you don't get jumped by spirits. If you enjoy healing, we also have our Cosmo counterpart, which is Doc. Doc is quite the mysterious guy, so much so that they have 5 stars in stealth, so a mini Astro that isn't a main. And just like Cosmo, he heals by giving up one of his hearts with the ability Help is Here. Unfortunately, when I played Doc, I couldn't select who I wanted to heal. The game chooses for you, and hopefully that changes because I would technically prefer to heal the person that's on 1 heart instead of the player that just got hit and still has 2 hearts left. Next we have Saturn, whose entire concept is stamina based with 4 stars in stamina in exchange for only 2 stars in repair speed. Their passive is called Outer Ring, which grants any star or player that is close to them a 50% boost in stamina regen. Now there's nothing visual that shows the radius you would have to be in, but I would have to assume you have to be really close by to Saturn to get that buff. We can now move on to our mains. Roto is the hotel receptionist and is a really happy guy. Their notable stat is speed as it's boosted with 5 stars. Their active ability is Ring Ring, which highlights all spirits on the floor for everyone to see, so think of V's active ability. Their passive is I See You, which allows them to see spirits that are close by to their proximity, so basically it's only for them. Stat-wise, Roto seems to be the distractor, except without an ability to gain its spirit's attention like Pebble does in D&D's World, and there's actually no item like the air horn in this game yet, so there's actually no item to take a spirit's attention off of someone else. You would just hope that you run away fast enough to get them off of you. Next we have the hotel founder himself, Edmund Tock. He has 5 stars in skill check with a hit on speed, being that he only has 1 star. If you enjoy completing objectives, Tock might be the main for you if you enjoy playing main characters. His active ability is time travel, which allows him to teleport to any machine, and this is limited to 1 use per floor. Now there's two types of machines in this game. There's capacitors, which is your typical machine that you repair with a skill check, and spirit boxes. Sometimes you'll get floors with only capacitors, or floors with only spirit boxes, or a mix of both. Spirit boxes require you to get a spirit's attention to lure them into a trap, which traps them for the entirety of that floor. Now, the only problem is, Tock's time travel ability can teleport him to a completed spirit box, which kind of wastes that one use of the ability you get, but in a sense, you could save that ability towards the end, so that it hopefully teleports you closer to the elevator. His passive is Time Boost, which gives him a 30% speed boost for 10 seconds after a machine is completed, so think of Finn's passive ability. Next we have Beam, who's an award-winning actress that happens to stay in the hotel. She has 1 star in terms of repair speed in exchange for 4 stars in skill check, stamina, and stealth. Her active ability is Light Bright, which the description is incorrect. It claims that she lights only the fuse box location during blackouts. However, this ability lights up all machines as well as the fuse box, no matter if it's a blackout or not. Let me just say, the blackout in this game is not as bad as Dandy's World. You honestly don't have to repair the fuse box to be able to see. I mean, you can repair it if you really want to, but it's really not required. Not sure if this is something they'll change in the future, but for now, I say repairing the fuse box is a waste of your time. Her passive is Flicker of Light, which allows her to have a 15% chance of surviving an attack on her last heart. Lastly, we have our token character Twilight. I do have a personal theory that Twilight is tied to the hauntings of the hotel, considering they show up in the elevator to sell you items, and with that interaction cutscene with Beam. Also, in the hotel lobby, there's nothing that gives a descriptor on who Twilight is. Their active ability is Star Stun, which allows them to stun every spirit for 7 seconds with a 100-second cooldown. And their passive is Star Power, which allows them to regen stamina 50% faster. Moving on to spirits. So Spirit Ringo used to be a lot smaller. He's a little spider creature. But instead of jumping you like when I originally played, he actually stays still until you get too close. So the dev said that he's blind and will only chase you if you get close enough to him. So it's actually quite easy to avoid him. And I also don't recommend wasting a spirit box space on him because you're just using up that space for a more annoying spirit. His relic is the Red Tie, which increases repair speed by 10% while lowering a skill check chance by 5%. Spirit Perfy is noticeable with the little perfume trail she leaves behind. She feels a bit fast, but isn't too big of a problem to deal with. I do like using her for the spirit boxes, at least on the floors where there's no mains or really annoying spirits, so I just like to get her out of the way so she doesn't jump me. Completing research on her grants you the Fragrance Relic, which increases run speed by 7.5%, so like Poppy's pink bow. Spirit Yin is interesting since the star counterpart is Yang. Makes you wonder if Yin is supposed to be like a twin that passed away, or if they're just known as Yin for fun. Now Yin isn't that bad to deal with either, and they don't have any specific gimmicks that I can notice yet. Completing research grants you Yin Yang, which increases stamina regen by 100% while on a machine. Spirit Dock is basically a cloud of shadows. I actually quite like the design, but you know, some people might not like it. It adds on to the mysterious charm. They're not super fast, but you can use him for the spirit boxes, but unless there's like more annoying spirits, I don't recommend putting Dock in the spirit box because it's kind of easy to avoid him. He's just chill like that. Completing research gives you the cloak, which increases your stealth by 25%. Spirit Saturn is worth using the spirit box on. I actually prefer her spirit design over her star one, but that's just me. And her relic is the rocket booster, which grants walk and run speed increase by 10%. Spirit Roto is probably one of my favorite spirit designs. I mean, there are some cool ones, but Roto is kind of up there for me. This is another spirit that's worth using the spirit box on, just to get them out of the way. Completing a research gives you the antenna, which decreases active ability cooldown by 8%. Spirit Tock is actually quite slow, and you know they're nearby by the light they emit, along with the shadow of their teeth. It's a pretty cool design, but you shouldn't have too many problems with them. because it's quite easy to avoid them. I mean, you can use the spirit box on them, but unless there's like faster spirits that are more annoying, I wouldn't use it on Tock. Their relic is the stopwatch, which increases run speed by 30% during panic mode. Spirit Beam seems like they spot you pretty easily, at least in my experience, which makes sense with the amount of eyes. I just wish there was something a little more to their design. If Beam is an award-winning actress, Spirit Beam kind of looks a bit plain to me. They lose their scarf. I mean, sure, there's the addition of multiple eyes, but at the base, there's really nothing else, so it feels a little bit basic, but that's just my opinion. This spirit is also worth using the spirit box on because I feel like they can get a little bit annoying depending on the floor layout, so if I see there's a spirit beam, I just drag them to the spirit box. Their relic is the light bulb, which makes stars glow radius bigger by 25% during blackouts, and light emitting stars have a larger radius than normal stars. Lastly, Spirit Twilight. This is another design that's really cool, which makes sense because this is the token character. Think Twisted Dandy. I mean, Twisted Dandy needs to look really cool, being a lethal Twisted, so Twilight works the same. They're also lethal, they will one-shot you. And just like Dandy, you summon Spirit Twilight by not purchasing anything from Twilight. And then you'll hear music which signals Twilight is going to spawn on that floor. They're pretty fast, and I gotta say I love the puppet hands controlling Twilight. Here's another tip. If you're on a floor with spirit boxes, you can actually trap Twilight to prevent anyone dying to them in one hit. I don't have their relic yet, but from what I've been told, it works just like Dandy's plush in Dandy's World, which is giving you a discount in Twilight's shop. You might be wondering what my opinion of Twilight Zone is, and I'm going to give a very unfiltered take. And this is going to come off as very critical because I'm going to give my honest feedback on areas of improvement. Now, this isn't meant to be a section where I'm mean to the dev team or anything. I'm going to start out with the bad where they can improve upon, and I'm going to reinforce it with the good on what I like about it so far. I think the elephant in the room we all need to address is the similarity between Twilight Zone and Dandy's World. I don't think we can deny that some of the abilities and mechanics are very similar to Dandy's World itself. Legally, I don't think Quell can copyright gameplay mechanics. I am not a legal expert, so I can't guarantee that. It's just, they can for sure copyright their character designs. I don't think they can copyright like specific abilities and such. I do like that there are some fresh new abilities in Twilight Zone, but we can't deny that there's a lot of similarities, especially with Perfy versus Poppy. They essentially work as the same character. I think the difference between Boxton and Ringo is that Ringo's ability only works if someone else completes a machine. Meanwhile, Boxton only gets a boost depending on how many people are in the lobby with Boxton. One area of improvement is that maybe they can mess around and come up with their own new, fresh takes of these characters instead of just borrowing ideas from Dandy's World's pre-existing characters. I mean, sure, you can argue, well, it might be hard for them to like change the abilities, but when you think about it, a lot of fan-made Dandy's World tunes, people make up abilities for. They make up concepts for their fan-made characters, and frankly, maybe they're a little bit OP at times because they don't know how to balance it for a game, but it's just for fun, so that's not like a huge problem. But if people are able to come up with fan-made abilities and concepts, this team should be able to do that with their own game to set it apart from Dandy's World. Now the machines, sure, there's machines in this game too, but they're trying to spice it up with different types of machines, and what I hope they do is they add more types of objectives to spice it up a little bit and not make it like a grindy kind of game. And I mean, this is still in its testing phase. We gotta remember before we're critical in the comments below that this is still in its early stages. Hopefully they listen to the community and use the feedback to improve upon this game. What I also like about it is the setting. I like that their concept is essentially a haunted hotel in the 1930s. I think that's a cool concept, and I can't wait to see how they build upon it for lore. I do also feel like another bad part of the game are the maps. There's not enough map variations because it's still early, but sometimes the map feels a little bit too enclosed. That's one point of criticism that I heard on my stream as well. I think when they adjusted the spirits, it felt a little bit better because the spirits would jump you constantly when you left a room. So you have like very small spaces with these spirits having big hitboxes, which means you're going to die and you're gonna have a bad time. Like, I was questioning, wait, why am I dying so early when I first played it? But they adjusted it since then, so it's a little bit better. But I think people still complain about hitboxes. I think hitboxes definitely can be improved. It's just one of those things where, oh, they need player feedback to see how it feels for the players. You know, they need a huge pool of people to test the game to see, oh, this is an area we need to fix, and we'll push an update for it in the future. That's all I really have to say about Twilight Zone so far because it's still very early, and I can't wait to see how they update the game. Hopefully they bring out more characters that have different abilities that set it apart from Dandy's World, because I can't tell you how many times I've joined the game and people are like, oh, this is just Dandy's World, why am I playing this? I can just be playing Dandy's World. That's true, that's valid, you can be playing Dandy's World, you don't have to play Twilight Zone. I decided to check it out because it's another Dandy's World inspired game, and I just wanted to see what set it apart from Dandy's World. I think the concept is there, it's just the direction of characters. Also, huge thank you to Blah Drama for voicing Ringo for me. There's no official lines for him, but Ringo is one of my favorite characters in the game, so I can't thank him enough for bringing Ringo to life, even for a little bit, and I appreciate you so much for helping me out. With that, I'll see you guys next time.